guys, what is going on? Jesse with Hunt Training. We are back to look at this little trigger deal right here. This is pretty sweet. But before we get started, we hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. And if you haven't and you like this content, consider subscribing below and hit that notification bell so you get notifications when I post new content. Check out my website. There is a page on there called Gear and Links. If you want to support the channel, you can buy products off of there that I recommend, and that will go to support the channel. Also, if you want to support the channel more directly, I do have a Patreon account. You guys can check that out. Links in description and all sorts of things like that. Like I said, big thumbs up or thumbs down if you don't like the video. Just choose and do one. But I really do appreciate it. Really does help. And I have successfully made 10 cents a day off of YouTube for a week. So we're doing great. Anyway, guys, I know I've been gone. But we're back. COVID kind of was a little difficult. And if you want to know more about that, I'm going to make a whole video about where we're at now, where the channel's going, and there's a lot of excitement and there's a lot of growth, but it just took a minute to get there. So I will make a video about that, and it will be posted on the channel. So if you want to know more about what's going on with Hunt Training itself, you guys can check that out. But let's get into it. Today, we are talking about this flat trigger shoe for the CZ Omega trigger system. So this is going to work for your PO7, PO9, your PO1 Omega. So it has the little like horseshoe shaped, or the Omega, obviously, but it looks kind of like a horseshoe for people who don't know. And the 75B Omega. So this trigger shoe will drop in, replace. It is from Shook's Customs LLC. Huge shout out to those guys for sending this out to me at a discounted price. I really appreciate it. I did pay for it, but I did get a discounted price. I also got a discount code for you guys. It'll be right here on the screen, and it'll probably be linked on the website. I'll also link his website on my website. There'll be a blog post in the blog section. You guys go check it out. There'll be a bunch of nice, high-quality photos of this. I'll do a little write-up of it, and we'll talk about it. Also, if the camera's a little shaky, forgive me. I'm filming in my car because I currently have a studio under construction, and I haven't been living in a house. But that'll all be in the other video, so go check that out. But flat face trigger shoe. What do I think about it? Well, let's talk about it. What's the most important part? Looking cool, right? No. Yes, looking cool. So it does look freaking awesome. That is a really good thumbs up, big, huge thumbs up. It looks really sharp in the gun. The gun with the flat trigger, I think, looks like way, way better. And I'm a huge fan of the way it looks. So that's important. You know, aesthetics are important. Like we do these things not because usually they make the gun shoot better or anything, because they make us happy and it's cool. And it is cool. It is a flat trigger shoe. It is cool. But does it help me shoot any better? Does it help me do anything particularly different? Is there any pros or cons to adding this trigger to your CZ PO9, PO7, 75B Omega, PO1 Omega? Few things. I do like the trigger face a lot. Let's backtrack a little bit. Before I get into that, I do really enjoy the Omega trigger shoe itself. Like, personally, I like the way it's kind of semi-flat. I like the trigger shoe on the Omega as it is already, before this. But this has got kind of a rounded face on it. The machining is done super well. I believe it's anodized, and that's also done really well. It's just a really high-quality product for what it is. And I believe they're in stock as of putting this video up. They're in stock on his website, so check it out. Anyway, I do like the Omega trigger shoe, but going to this shoe, it has a nice rounded face, and I'll roll in some images so you guys can check that out, obviously. Some shooting footage, make sure it's clear. I do like the face of it. It feels really good on the finger, and it's good to index off of because of that sharp, not really sharp, but that cornered edge right there. I can index, and I'm making sure that I'm getting the pad of the finger on the trigger, and making sure that I'm getting my finger placed in the right spot. As far as the break and travel, like, it doesn't change the break and the travel or anything like that. But what it does do, I think that is important to point out, is I don't know if it does, and I don't think it does it a whole lot, but the reach to the double action to get out on the front of this trigger is longer now, or it feels longer now than it was with the Omega shoe. And I think that's just because of the thickness of the trigger, not necessarily really the way it works. But I did also notice, so that's kind of a con, a little bit of a con. If you have really short, chubby fingers, it's going to be harder for you to get a hold of the trigger. And it was probably already hard for you to get a hold of the trigger anyway, because the Omega trigger is kind of long anyway. I did notice on the single action brake, because it breaks pretty far back. If you guys notice, it breaks about right there. And you got to reset it and bring it back, which I run this gun a lot, so it's not hard. And the brake just kind of rolls through. But I noticed in the single action brake that I feel like I had more control over it because it was flat. I don't really know if that's true or not, but it just made me feel like I was more controlling the single action shots, and I'm able to make headshots at 35 and so yards pretty easily with this trigger system in there. The price, I think the price is fair. It's around $55, and then you got to ship it. So I think it's a fair price for this trigger shoe. And honestly, I think it adds to a lot of the guns. So if you're looking at building a CZ PO7, PO9 kind of cool gun, I think the flat trigger shoe is obviously something you can add. If you just want a flat trigger shoe because you want a flat trigger shoe, Shook's Custom is definitely the way to go. I know I believe there's a CZ Custom version. I'll probably be picking one of those up and comparing them. Honestly, in the end, guys, it's super basic. It looks really good. It's super solid. The install on a double single action on the Omega trigger system, it's not the easiest. It's not the easiest. In the end, it's not the easiest. It's not difficult, but there is a lot of little springs and things like that you need to be careful of and be aware of when you're inside of the gun. I can do it in about 15 minutes, not working too hard. If you have all the tools and stuff to do it and you have good lighting, and you be careful of the springs, because obviously there's a lot of those springs in there, you'll be able to get it done quickly. If you guys are new to the channel and you haven't seen this gun before, this is my CZ PO9, but what I did is I went ahead and I chopped the grip off to PO7 length, and I really like this form factor, kind of long slide PO7, and this slide's going to get milled and get some other work done. I do have the night vision night sights on there. For defensive sights, they're really awesome, but I will say they're kind of thick, and for the kind of work that I like to do, kind of precision defensive work, they work, but I could use a front post and a smaller notch. But for defensive sights on like a PO7 or something that's just truly defensive, 0 to 25, like that's all you're going to use it for is defensive use. They're really solid sights. And on my PO9, I just lined them up right in the middle, and they were dead on, and I haven't had to adjust them since. And I can show you videos. I've shot groups that are, tiny with this thing. But super awesome pistol, and the Shook's Custom flat trigger shoe only adds to the gun. And other than that, I really don't think I got anything else for you. So please, like I said, again, subscribe, check out my website, Patreon link below if you'd like to. And remember, guys, it is now more important than ever to be able to protect yourself. So I would highly suggest that you get a solid firearm and you get some good training. Also, maybe some medical training, maybe some survivalist training. You never know when you're going to need to use those things. I have a go bag or a backpack with me almost always, and it's got medical equipment in it if I need it. And I have some food and some snacks in there also, and a few changes of clothes and things like that if I need to get somewhere. You just never know. Anyway, guys, get out to the range. And if you can't get out of the range because you don't have any ammo, like a lot of us in the world, get that dry fire in and do the best you can to be able to protect yourself. And if you have time to get some training, hit me up and I can help you out. Anyway, guys, Jesse with Hunt Training, Shook's Custom flat face trigger, discount code below for their holsters on their website. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for the trigger, but hey, he's a small business. Go support him. Guys, we will see you next time. More content on the way. I promise we're back to regular content creation. Not really regular, but anyway, we'll see you guys later.